Joining me right now from the White House is Kevin Hassett, the National Economic Council Director. Kevin, thanks for being here. You have said that it is President Trump who gives the final sign-off on all agreements. This announcement is far more dramatic of a rollback than I think many people expected. What happened before or during the weekend talks that led to this outcome?
I think it's actually quite similar to the things that we've been seeing in the other negotiations. We actually have a fresh start with China. That's the way to think about these negotiations, that we've come in with these reciprocal tariffs. We've described the non-tariff barriers and tariffs that disadvantage American workers. And folks are coming to the table, and it's really stunning how quickly they're moving and how dramatic the changes are. Imagine we're selling beef in the UK again, and China has the 10% tariff, reciprocal tariff that we're charging the UK. All of this has happened because of President Trump's leadership. He's shown people that, look, we're not going to stand for this ridiculous behavior that we've been observing over the years. But then people come in and say, yeah, you got us. And then they work out something that's good for both countries. And so I think it's really a very historic fresh start in the relationship between the U.S. and China, given how much movement there was over the weekend.
What needs to happen to make sure that tariffs don't go back to, 145% at the end of the 90 days?
Right. Well, that will be something that will be negotiated mostly with Jamieson Greer at the USTR that we're going to go through. Now, this is obviously 2 days' work, and there's 90 days more work to do to make sure that we land the plane. But, the plane is right there over the runway. I don't think that there's much hope of people who think that this is going to go back. This is absolutely a sound deal. And most importantly, it's a thing that you didn't cover, that there are all these things, both from the U.S. to China and China to the U.S., that were kind of gummed up and stuck, perhaps on ships going back and so on. And all of that is cleared up now. And so the potential for supply disruptions from China, affecting magnets in the U.S. and so on, all of that stuff was cleared up by this really historic negotiation.
We had a Democratic Congressman, Jake Auchincloss, was on just last hour. I want to play for you his reaction to the news of this 90-day de-escalation.
You got to give credit to Trump as a marketer. He creates uncertainty and havoc by raising tariffs and then claims victory when he lowers the tariffs that he himself put in place, right? All this does is extend uncertainty for another 90 days.
What do you say to that, Kevin?
No, I disagree completely. I think that if you look at the UK deal, and if you look at the text of it, I don't think anyone's saying, oh, what's going to happen down the road. I think that you can see that we've really reached equilibrium agreement. Now, it's true that we had 2 days of negotiation, and now there's more paperwork to be flowing and to sign off on both sides and so on. And so the amount of clarity we have with the UK might take a few more days, but this is a historic victory for President Trump. And the bottom line is, if you start from a world where our countries are getting abused, or our workers are getting abused by foreign countries because they're not allowing us to sell their products into those countries, then if you do anything that might change the status quo, then that's going to add to uncertainty. But the uncertainty is on the right side of the American worker, because ultimately, if the uncertainty works, then you move to a better place. And that's what we're seeing in country after country after country. We're moving to a better place. We're getting fresh starts. We're putting American workers first.
Lutnick said that the 10% is now baseline. Is no country going to see a tariff rate of less than 10% in any of these deals?
That'll be up to President Trump. That'll be up to President Trump.
Would you be, well, if Lutnick says it, do you think that that's the case?
There are some products that perhaps will have exclusions and so on, and maybe some countries have a lot of those products. So, but in the end, we'll see how the dust settles. But 10% is the anchor tariff right now for everybody, yes.
It was just last weekend that the president had said in an interview that going cold turkey on China, having no trade with China, was actually a good thing because, in his view, the United States was losing $5 billion a day. He was painting it as it is a good thing that we're not doing deals with China right now. How do you square that rhetoric with now this, we've got to reset, let's give ourselves 90 days to work out a good deal for both?
Right. Well, we are going to work out and have worked out a good deal for both. The bottom line is what President Trump was saying was that if we don't work out that good deal, we'll be fine. America will be fine. The fact is that we didn't sell practically anything to China. We're buying a lot of stuff from China. We could buy that stuff from other countries or make it ourselves. And so if China didn't come to the table and negotiate, President Trump was saying, then we'll be fine. We'll work it out. But we've got a better deal for us, a better deal for them, and we're all very pleased to see it. And markets are pleased as well.
We will see what they look like when markets open. Kevin Hassett at the White House for us. Thank you so much for joining us today.